and welcome to episode 53 of the Carla Knits podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, sometimes crocheting, but always all of the yarny goodness that I love. Today is Friday, July 1st, and I'm so happy to be back this week with a new episode and to talk about all the crafty, yarny things that I have been working on. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, and my Etsy shop as cbcraftygirl. In my Etsy shop, I sell project bags. And for this podcast, we do have a group on Ravelry, and we currently have 2 make-alongs that are going on. So our first make-along is the Love Your Stash Mal, which goes the entirety of 2022. And this is to use anything in your stash that was purchased or gifted prior to January 1st of this year, and to make anything you'd like. And so with this, I draw quarterly prizes. So this is July 1st today, and so I am going to be drawing for the second quarter of the year. So I think I will do that now before we get into our next make-along, talking about that. So in our Ravelry thread, in the, the chatter posts, there are currently, as of this morning, there were 1,399 chatter posts in there for the Love Your Stash make-along. And I took posts beginning with the first post posted in April through yesterday. And random number generator picked number 1147, and that is Amy Has Time. So congratulations to you, Amy. And for your prize in the chatter thread is this cute, and that's probably gonna be really shiny. I hope you can see there are yarn balls etched in there. So a fun little notions pouch, kind of iridescent. And then in this little bag, I don't think I'm gonna take it out, but there is a little, it looks like Starbucks strawberry frappuccino in there with some pink stitch markers, and it comes with a little container for the stitch markers. And so that is the prize for the chatter thread. So for Amy, I don't know if I have your address, so if you could please send me a message with your address on Ravelry, that would be great. And then in the finished object thread, there are 587 total posts. And again, I took from April through yesterday, and it's so it was numbers 340 through 587 that I did the random number generator, and it picked number 465, who on Ravelry is Tree Source Ltd, and that's Elaine. So congratulations. And Elaine, if you could reach out to me on Ravelry with your mailing address, I will get the prize out to you. I should show what it is. We have this beautiful skein of yarn, and I don't think the camera picks up how beautiful green this is. This is by Lumberjack Yarn, who so generously donated this to the podcast. So thank you, Danny, again for this beautiful donation. So this is a fingering weight yarn. It is 80% superwash merino wool, 10% silk, and 10% cashmere. So, oh my goodness, that is beautiful. That is just gorgeous. So along with this, I will also be gifting you one of my project bags. This is a patchwork kind of bag inside a bright cheery yellow. So Elaine, that will be coming to you. So congratulations to Elaine and to Amy. And I just appreciate all of the chatter that is going on, and seeing all of the beautiful finished objects has just been amazing. So keep up the great work. We are halfway through 2022. So on to quarter 3 now, using your stash. All right, I said we have 2 make-alongs going on in the Ravelry group, and the second one starts today when I'm recording this. So this is July 1st. So this is the Merry Makealong for 2022. So this is the second year of doing this. This starts today and goes through August 31st. And the idea is to help yourself out with maybe some Christmas gift knitting, holiday making, crocheting, sewing. It can be for gifts, it could be for yourself, but just something that thinking towards the holidays. So it could be a festive pair of socks. Again, gift knitting, charity. If you plan on gifting to charity, that would work too. And I know there are some other Christmas in July make-alongs going on, so you certainly can double dip and, you know, post in our group and post in those other groups if they're okay with that. If you are using stash yarn, put it in the stash thread, the Love Your Stash, and put it in the Merry Makealong. So I do need to, there is a chatter thread currently up, but I do need to open a thread for Merry Makealong finished objects. So later in this episode, I will be sharing some things that I am thinking about working on during this time, looking towards December, looking towards those Christmas or holiday months. So I think that is all of the chatter at the top of the episode. I should say for the Merry Makealong, I will be drawing winners from the finished object thread, the chatter thread, and I will be drawing from the Instagram hashtag as well. So hashtag Merry Makealong 2022, I believe is what I have. And all of that information will be in the Ravelry chatter thread at the beginning. If you happen to be outside of the United States, then I will gift, and you are chosen, then I will gift you a pattern prize. All right, on to the episode. What I am wearing. I don't believe I have shown this before on this podcast, but this is the Marettimo or Marettimo by Caitlin Hunter. And I'll just show this so hopefully you can see that little ruffle down there. So the top color, or the main color, is by Amy of Noble Character Crafts, who no longer dyes yarn. And then let's see, the dark color in the stripe is Voolenvine yarn. And then the lighter pink here in the sleeves, that is by Maker's Haven. So sadly, Maker's Haven no longer dyes yarn either, but I made this a few years back. I have made several of Caitlin Hunter's patterns, and I really enjoy them. And I thought I would wear this today. It's not too terribly hot here in Nebraska today. So I thought, okay, I can get by with wearing a short sleeve sweater. So that is what I'm wearing. If I know a lot of people have knit this one, I probably could see myself knitting it again. I might make it a little bit shorter. I changed a few things. I believe I did make it longer in the body, and then the sleeves were supposed to have a ruffle or more echoing the waviness on the bottom. And I did knit that, and I didn't like how it looked, so I unknit it and just did a really simple sleeve for that. So yeah, that's my Marettimo by Caitlin Hunter. On to some finished objects for today. I feel like I'm talking really fast. I get that sometimes when I teach too, and I always tell my students, raise your hand if you have a question, because I'm tending to talk really fast. So I'd love to say that to you guys, but I can't see if you're raising your hand, so I'm going to try and slow down, excuse me, a little bit. I have 3 finished objects. My first is just a really simple dishcloth. This dishcloth is called the Copycat Dishcloth by Leah Michelle. And I misspoke the last time. I said it was a free pattern on Ravelry. I could not find it on Ravelry, but it is on Leah Michelle's website, which I have linked below in the show notes. And the yarn I used is Euro Baby, let's see, Euro Baby Babe Soft Cotton Worsted. That is a mouthful in this, bright pink colorway. This is the third dishcloth that I've knit from that skein of yarn. So that skein of yarn has yielded 3 dishcloths, which is pretty good. This simple dishcloth, if you've been with me a while, you know that my friend Joanne and I were helping some 4-H girls with knitting. And so this was one of the patterns or projects that we were working on. So I just did that while I was, sitting there with the girls, something just really easy. So it is a pretty big washcloth or dishcloth. I don't know. My dishcloths in the past have been smaller, but I will have to try this out to see if I like the size. I really like the squishy garter texture in the middle. That's pretty fun. So now that I've shown it, I think I will go ahead and start using it. My second finished object is a pair of socks for summer sock camp. And you saw the first one the last time, but now I have completed a pair. And these socks, let's see, the yarn, the bright yellow, and I know it doesn't show as bright on camera as it shows in person. It is just a bright, bright neon yellow. The yarn is called Neon Dreams by Weird Sisters Wool Emporium. Hold that up. And a contrasting toe came from leftovers from an advent calendar, but sadly I do not remember which advent calendar it came with. The pattern on the sock, I don't know how well you can see that, but it is a pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady called Rhinebeck Roomies, and it's a really nice squishy texture. I have made it before with a pair of socks and just really enjoyed that fun texture. So that is pair number 1. And then my last finished object is also a pair of socks, and I'm just going to put them on the sock blockers. This is a DK weight pair of socks. Here we go. I guess this is forcing me to slow down a little bit, take it a little easier. All right, so this is a DK weight pair of socks, and the pattern is Sailor's Rope DK Socks by Felicity Ward. And you can see the pretty cable detail down the socks. The yarn is by Candy Shop Yarns in the Cake Pop colorway, and I don't know if the green mini had a color name. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. But this is a free pattern on Ravelry. This was really enjoyable to knit. DK weight socks, as most of you know, if you knit socks, go much faster than fingering weight. So it was really fun to complete 2 pair of socks within the last couple of weeks since I've talked to you last. So that is my second pair for summer sock camp. So I knit my socks on Magic Loop, and so then they are entered into the Magic Loop cabin for the Crazy Sock Lady. If you aren't familiar with summer sock camp, you should check out the Crazy Sock Lady. She has videos about that on YouTube. You could follow her on Instagram, and she also has a Ravelry group where all of the things would be explained for summer sock camp. I was hoping this leads me into my works in progress. Works in progress whips. Yeah. For some reason that came out and it did not sound quite right. Works in progress. This leads me into my last sock whip. I had 3 socks going, and it was my hope that I could finish all 3 pair by the end of June, but that did not happen. But I think I did pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how it is going. So my last sock whip right now, or my only sock whip, I should say right now, is in this cute bag. I don't think I showed this, and it's got my sock pins, camp pins from the last 2 years. I don't have this year's. This is by Lila Lovely on Etsy, and this appealed to me. The anchors for sailing, and just a cute summer print fabric, really fun. So I guess that's kind of my official sock camp bag, because summer for me is a lot of water, whether it be going to you know, to sail at the lake, or going to our community swimming pool, or going on vacation to Michigan, to Lake Michigan. So water plays a big part of my summer. But my sock whip is on this sock. So you saw the completed one last time, and this is, and I'll show you again. It's not on the blocker, but that one is done. But this is what I have done so far on sock number 2. So I have worked down the leg of the sock, and I have just barely started the heel flap. So that is what I'm working on. We had a lot of time in the car yesterday, and so I knit a good portion of this in the car. I was alternating with another project, but I did get quite a bit of knitting done on this in the car yesterday. So the socks always make great portable knitting projects for the car. So I really am going to focus on this and get this done before I don't know if I should say that, before I cast on a Christmas pair of sock. I don't know if I want to say that, because I love my Christmas yarn, but I really would like to get this sock done too, so I can have a third pair for summer sock camp. I don't think I said what this lovely yarn is. This is by Night Owl Fibers, and she does a beautiful job with her self-striping yarn. This yarn is based on the PBS mini series Pole Dark, and it is called Cornwall Cove. If you're into period dramas at all, I would highly, highly recommend that show. Really, really good. All right, so that is currently my only sock whip. I'll just take a brief moment to talk about dishcloths. If you've been with me for this year, you know I have been knitting the monthly dishcloth by the Kitchen Sink Shop. I failed for the month of June. I did not cast on the June sock. And this morning in my email was the beautiful pattern for July. So I have June and July's dishcloth patterns to work up. And those patterns are based on some of her favorite books. So I still really want to do that. I think I was just working on this dishcloth, and I just didn't really think about, I guess I kind of started thinking about it last week and thought, no, there's some other things I really want to focus on towards the end of the month. But I would like to do both of those dishcloths for the month of July. So that is still something that is happening. I just did not get to it in the month of June. If you are doing her dishcloth club, how are you doing? Are you keeping up? And if so, that is great. Or which dishcloth are you working on? All right, so my next whip is in my sheep bag, which I just love. This sheep print, so cute. Those knitting sheep just have my heart. This is my Flutter wrap. This is a pattern by Tiff Nealon, and I have made quite a good bit of progress. If you can see where I was last time, there's that pumpkin, I don't know, it's not a pumpkin spice latte, maybe it is, a little pumpkin frappuccino on there. Really, really cute. So this Flutter wrap, Tiff Nealon, and that is the progress I have made. Let me talk a little bit about the yarn. This feels a little fallish, a light fall palette maybe, with the peaches. I don't know exactly how it's reading on the screen, but I am using this yarn. I have just a little bit left of the first mohair. And so the mohair is by You Knit, I Dye in the You Make Me Blush colorway. So it looks really orangey, but it definitely comes off as more peachy when you knit with it. So this shawl is knit holding mohair with slub yarn. And so my first slub yarn I am done with. This was by Hawari Bazaar, so just a little bit left. You can see it's that kind of kinky yarn with those slubs or those nubbins in it. So Hawari Bazaar in the Crazy Plant Lady colorway. So that is the first section down here, and that's an eyelet section. And then when you switch to the second part, you are doing some garter rows and not the eyelets anymore. And then I still hold the mohair, but now I'm holding it with a little bit darker skein of yarn. And this is the Peas and Carrots colorway. And this is by, I should know who this is by. Oh boy, let's see. Dye Lot Studio. Good for taking notes because I wasn't finding the tag in my bag. So that is the second color that I'm using. So I am on the decrease. You can see I am working the decreases now. And so the end is definitely in sight. And then you do add one tassel, which I am planning to do. So I definitely hope I'm getting some more work into this over the next couple of weeks. I'm really happy with the progress. These rows were feeling really long in the eyelet section, so I'm really happy to be on the decreases now. That's fun. Just realizing each row is going to get shorter for me. So that again is the Flutter wrap, and that it's just creating such a nice squishy texture. Yeah, I absolutely love that. Just really cozy. My last active work in progress, I did not show last time, I don't believe, because I hadn't gotten much work done. It is in this Me Made bag that I showed before. And this is my City Limits sweater by Tanis Fiber Arts. Let's see. And here is the progress. It is bright. I don't know exactly how bright it's coming across on the camera, but it is bright, you guys. It's definitely a Carla bright color pink. So where I was at is where this marker was. So is that about 7 or 8 inches down from there that I have put on in the last couple of weeks. So I'm really excited with how this is turning out. The sweater is intended to wear on the wrong side, and I haven't decided exactly. If I'm really good with my finishing, then I might be able to have it be reversible, which would be awesome. I haven't decided. The pattern instructs you to go so many inches down from the underarm. I think I'm at about 12 inches. And if I want to put the ribbing on, I probably should stop now. Or there's just a simple, is it an I-cord bind off? I don't know for sure. So there's a couple different ways you can finish the bottom of the sweater and the neckline of the sweater. So those are things that I have to think about. I am intending to make this long sleeve, so I have, been really careful with my yarn management, trying, to save enough yarn aside from each color, to work on those sleeves. So the idea is you hold fingering weight double, and then you swap out as you go down the sweater. So just to go through the colors. The first part is from Lumberjack Yarn. Again, she was that green yarn that is the prize, but Lumberjack Yarn is Danny. Hi, Danny. Hope you're doing well. And this was a pink gradient colorway. So I held 2 strands of that. And then I went into, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'll say Avaini, A-V-A-I-N-I. I couldn't read the writing on there, but it's a pink coral colorway. And then below that is Porter Wool in the paper Valentine. So each time I'm holding one from the previous colorway. So you just kind of fade on down that way. After paper Valentine, where you get into this blue with those blue specks in there, that is Adeline Rose fibers in the Pop Rocks colorway. And then currently I am using another Porter Wool, and this is the BFF colorway, and I'll show you what that looks like. I really love this color. Oh, I would not mind a sweater in that color. I don't know, people definitely could see me coming. They're probably gonna see me coming in this bright sweater, but I really, really love this color. I really do. So I guess I'm at a little bit of a standstill. I was working on this in the car yesterday when I had a lot of time in the car for knitting. And then I did some measuring, and I'm like, oh, I better, you know, I want to hold this against my, either my weekender sweater or my Autumn League pullover. Those are sweaters that I really like the length on, so I kind of want to compare. If I continue on into a new color on this, this is where I am struggling a little bit. My original, when I originally plotted out this sweater, it was going to be this, which is a gorgeous skein of yarn by Hooker's Corner. It's called Bless Your Heart. I got this a year ago. Very pretty, but I'm not sure. You guys can let me know about this. I'm not sure how well that fades in, because this current color is so, I guess I would say it's more tonal, it's more solid, and then this is more, I don't want to say splotchy because that doesn't make it sound flattering, more speckled, a lot more going on in this. So I don't know how that would be kind of to end the sweater. My other thought, this is going to be a little shocking too. I have this bright purple, and it's got some it's bright purple with pinks in it. This is called Night Bus, so that's a Harry Potter reference by Mint Rain Yarn. And this would echo some of the purple flecks going in there and would be held with that last yarn. But that's going to be a pretty stark, those two together, that's going to make a pretty stark bottom. I just feel like this doesn't flow as nice. It just might be too stark. My last choice is a skein of yarn that I originally bought for this, thinking this was more pink, but this turned out to be more orange. So Amy, I was thinking about you because I know you like orange, and I really love this. I just don't know how well this goes with this, although there are the oranges and peachy colors. So this might go really well with that to finish off the sweater. So please let me know what you think. No right or wrong answers here. You know, ultimately I'll probably decide what I want to do. I guess at this point I'm probably leaning this way, but I would love to hear your opinion on that. All right. So that is my last active whip right now, because I have been working really hard on those socks. I really wanted to get a couple pairs of socks finished, so that felt good, but I feel really good about the progress made on the sweater and the shawl too. Yeah. And I'm enjoying all of my projects, which is really nice. Just really, really happy with how all of those are going. So going into, let's see, what I have a couple more things I want to talk about. I think I will talk first about my June stats. So each month I have been trying, kind of going with the whole idea of the love your stash, you know, using your stash. How am I doing? How are you doing? So in June, these are the things I finished. The Dureco sweater, the duck body from last time, if you remember Amelia, the neon yellow socks, and the sailor rope socks. I did not include, excuse me, the pink skein of yarn for the dishcloth because I've already counted that as out of stash, so that didn't count. But with those projects that I just said, 6, 7, 8. So 8 skeins out of stash, which is great. What came into my stash this month? Well, it's an equal amount. So 8 skeins in, 8 skeins out. So I guess that's okay. One of them was this because I was trying to figure out how to finish the bottom of that sweater. So one of them is this. If I don't use it for my sweater, it will go into a shawl at some point. It's not a sock yarn because it doesn't have nylon, so it would definitely be a shawl or held double, you know, to make a DK weight. I could do something with that as well. So that one came into stash. I'm just reaching, my table is really full of stuff. I got 3 skeins of this Ella Rae Cozy Soft. And this is thinking ahead to making sweaters for my twin nephews, you know, for Christmas time. So this is a really soft yarn. So I'm still a little undetermined or unsure about which pattern I'm going to use. I thought I had one in mind. Turns out it was worsted weight. I still think this could work, and I may still do that, but I'm not sure. But I think this is a really lovely, lovely shade of blue. I don't know what they call it. Yeah, it just has a dye lot, or excuse me, color 24. But it's really a lovely blue. So those came in, and then I got 3 skeins of this, which will eventually lead me into talking about some dream knitting. But this is Knit Pick Stroll Tonal, Poppy Field Tonal. So I do have a project in mind for this. Again, I'm not sure if this is my color. This is kind of a bold yellow, but poppy, I guess that's really appropriate. But I was thinking of a tee pattern that I saw, which I will talk about, but then I was thinking of making it either 3/4 length or full length sleeves with that pattern. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So I got those 3 skeins. And then I was gifted a beautiful skein of yarn by my dear friend. And this is so pretty. I think she knows me so well. You may have seen this on Instagram. I did post this on Instagram. This is by Trunk Full of Color. That is the dyer. Yep, Trunk Full of Color. And this is a sock yarn. So it's an 80% merino wool, 20% nylon, 400 yards. I don't know if it's called Pink Orchid. So very appropriate, but I would really like to see how this knits up with those, you know, those zebra stripes in there. But it's really pretty, really soft. So I'm excited for this. So I'm kind of wrestling with casting this on and or my Christmas yarn, both. I don't know. I don't want to overwhelm myself with projects. I think I've done pretty good managing my projects so far. So we will see if this gets cast on this month or maybe after I knit a pair of Christmas socks, a pair or 2 of Christmas socks. We shall see. But anyway, thank you. Thank you to my friend Lois. This is just beautiful and I absolutely love it. So 8 skeins in, 8 skeins out. So that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. For July, I will have that sweater. I should have that sweater finished, maybe. That would be several skeins of yarn. My Flutter wrap is very close to being done. That is several skeins of yarn. So I feel like potentially July could be a good month for stash out. We shall see. To be determined. It's only July 1st, so I don't know. I don't know how that will go. But going on into, let's see, we'll talk about Christmas knitting. I guess Christmas and dream knitting, because I always do dream about my knitting, and Christmas too. I love all things Christmassy. So these are some skeins I pulled from my stash. This one I would say is definitely going to get cast on. This is Bad Sheep yarn in the Shiny Bright colorway. So Shiny Bright, I believe was the name of a company, or refers to the glass ornaments from 50s, 60s, kind of kitschy looking. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this colorway really spoke to me. So this is DK weight, and it is a 75-25. I do believe she still has this on her website. So this colorway can be ordered, but that's going to make just a really fun festive pair of socks. So I really like that. Showing you a bunch of sock yarn now. I have this Cascade Yarns Heritage Prints, which I have never used. I have never used this Cascades Heritage sock yarn. It is really soft. It's a 75-25 blend, and it's going to knit up in a pattern. I don't know how well you are able to see that label, but this has been in my stash, 3 years, 4 years, a while. So that would kind of be fun to work that up. So thinking about that, I have these 3 skeins of Active yarn, which is also a self-patterning yarn. And, you know, a couple of these look pretty close. So any of these could be really good. I don't know if you can really see how the patterning goes on there. But I have these 3 skeins. I was not familiar with Active yarn until I heard about it on the Night Owl Fibers podcast from Brenda. I believe she had some Active yarn, and I know I purchased this last year, and I have another skein of Active yarn in my stash as well. So I really would like to try, you know, maybe try one of these at some point. It may not be now during the Merry Makealong. It might be closer to Christmas. We shall see. But self-patterning yarn sure is fun. So I'm anxious to see how those will knit up eventually. So those are all sock things I'm thinking about for Christmas. I am not intending a whole lot of knitting this year for Christmas. Last year I did knit quite a bit for different people for Christmas, and don't take that to mean I'm not knitting for anybody for Christmas, because I have knit for some people. And Mom, hi Mom, if you're watching, yes, you will get handmade gifts, of course. And I did knit a pair of socks for Jeff also, but I am just forcing myself to take it a little bit easier with the Christmas gift knitting this year, because our son Aaron and his fiance Kelsey are getting married in November, before Thanksgiving. So I feel like we are going to be busy and, you know, focused more in that busier time of year with wedding, Thanksgiving, 2 kids' birthdays, and Christmas. So I'm like, just take it easy this year. It's okay to do. It's okay. But another thing I'm dreaming about for the Merry Makealong, this fun skein of yarn is Knit Circus yarn. It's in the Let It Snow colorway. And I know I showed this last year as one of the projects that I wanted to do. It is called Snow and Mistletoe by Jennifer Rundhaug. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, sorry. That is the Driftless Knitter or Driftless Knitting podcast. So she designed a beautiful cowl, and I will have inserted a picture here. And so I think that would be really pretty and fun to make at some point as well. All right, then I have, I love this yarn so much. I love this skein of yarn. This is by Charming You. This is a DK skein of yarn. It's 100% superwash merino. It's the Oh Christmas Tree colorway. I believe she was just doing it special last year, kind of inspired for the Nitty Bitty Sisters podcast. And I love the skein of yarn, but I'm cherishing it so much. I want to just let this yarn shine. I just want to let this yarn shine. So, you know, I was thinking, okay, I could do, you know, a very simple hat with it. Or if I figured out a 2 skein shawl, I also have this skein of yarn, which echoes some of the color in here. This is a little dustier of a teal, but I think those two could potentially go well together in a shawl. So both are DK weight. This one is by Arkansas Yarn Company, and this was, I don't think it has a colorway name on it, but I shared this last year. This was based on a book. So, gosh, I wish I could remember that and go, yeah, I don't know. There was a book, and the cover definitely was reflected in these colors, and the book came with a free hat pattern, either to crochet or to knit. Which still may happen, but, you know, I was just looking in my stash, you know, what could I put with this beautiful skein of yarn? So if you have any suggestions for me, either for a 1 skein, it has to be a very special project, just to let this beautiful yarn shine. Do you like it paired with this? Should it be a hat? Should it be a shawl? I don't know, but this is, you know, this is a Christmas themed yarn. I definitely would like to use it if it's the right project. So, and I know, I guess if it's not the right project, I can always, you know, unravel it and save it again. But this is just, oh, it's just so beautiful. I absolutely love that. So let me know what you think about those. All right, gosh. Other dream knitting. I shared that I would talk about the pattern for this. So I saw on the Cat Knit podcast, it's Grace, she test knit the Salty Air Tee. And again, I don't remember who the author, the pattern designer is. I don't remember who the pattern designer is, but I will include a picture here, and I will be putting it in the show notes. Gosh, who is it by? I don't remember. But so I was thinking of doing, you know, the Salty Air Tee with this, thinking it's still very warm in the fall. But did I want to do it short sleeved, or would it be, you know, cute as a 3/4 length, or, you know, a full length sweater? But that pattern really spoke to me. I saw Grace's and I knew I wanted to knit that. So the Flutter wrap is another thing that I saw on her podcast that she test knit, and then I'm like, ooh, I really would like to make that shawl. So I'm very inspired by Grace on that Cat Knit podcast, you know, all of her test knits, and, you know, I always put those patterns into my favorites on Ravelry. So that is one pattern that is definitely something I am, you know, thinking about making. And again, I don't know if I should finish the sweater I am currently making. You know, my logical side says, yes, you should finish that sweater, and you've got Christmas things you want to focus on. We'll see. You know, anything goes with your knitting, you know, whatever the mood strikes. If you feel like casting something on, you should cast something on if it's going to bring you joy. So I have to weigh whether it would bring me joy to cast it on, and certainly it would for a little while, or is it going to cause more stress knowing that I have other stuff that I want to be knitting too. Oh, what a problem to have so much yarn and so much knitting. It's a really silly problem to have, I know. So that Salty Air Tee, and then one of Andrea Mowry's newest patterns is the Feel Good shawl. It is a DK weight shawl. I think it uses 5, maybe 6 skeins of DK weight, and it's a brioche shawl. So I don't know that I have shown anything brioche on here. I have done very little. I did make a brioche cowl before, and I'm very sure I haven't worn it on here because it's very thick weight, but it works really well in the winter for under my coats for going outside. And then I also knit a brioche shawl, which I should show sometime. It was a fingering weight brioche shawl, which turned out it's okay. It's a little on the smaller side, and the bind off was a little tight, so it is not a shawl that I necessarily gravitate towards or grabbing. But so it has been a couple of years. It has been a couple of years since I've done brioche, but I was thinking, you know, I just love the look of that big squishy brioche shawl. You know, it's a big shawl. It uses a lot of yarn, and I think I could pull some fun DK weight skeins from my stash, so I'm definitely interested in doing that. All right, just on to a little chatter. I had a sale in my shop kind of to kick off summer. I had that last week, and so a big thank you to all of you who shopped it, you know, liked my posts on Instagram, those who have, you know, favorited my shop or favorited the item in my store or given reviews. All of those things just mean the world to me. So thank you so much for your support and your kindness. I really, really, truly appreciate it, and appreciate all of you. So I have been doing some sewing, so I'm starting to get some more summer prints ready for bags, and also have some Halloween fabrics coming. Looking forward to making some fun Halloween bags for the shop. We have had some pretty hot weather here in Nebraska, although today only 83, so that is pretty remarkable because we've had high in the 90s, you know, the higher 90s. So today is kind of a welcome day. It's kind of overcast outside, so I like those days. I was talking with one of my friends, Candy, on Instagram. Hi, Candy. And where she lives in California, she said they've had between 100 and 110. So I said, I can't complain. I'll take my 90s here. That's totally okay. But if you've been with me, you know I'm not a heat-loving person. I like some of the summer activities, but I don't like the heat. So I always enjoy looking forward to fall and winter, although I know I need to, you know, enjoy the present time that I have been given. You know, each day is a gift, so I do need to cherish those things. And I enjoy my air conditioning and my fan very much on those hot days. We've had trips to the lake. We've had trips to the pool. We went to pick up my father-in-law yesterday. So we have him staying with us for a few weeks. So that's really nice to have some company here in our house. We are looking forward to the 4th of July. Our town is a big 4th of July celebrator. I live in Seward, Nebraska, which is known, I think, as like small town 4th of July city. And our town population is just under 7,000, but they say on the 4th of July, it grows to about 40,000. Jeff and I don't know how they count those people, but there are so many people in our town for that day, and they have activities going from first thing in the morning, like 6 a.m. in the morning, all the way till when fireworks, you know, the big display of fireworks ends at night, and then people continue to fire off their fireworks till after midnight. So it's a very long day. It's a very festive 4th of July. This year, Jenna's choir will be performing, so we are looking forward to seeing that. The forecasted high is now 98 that day. So it's gonna be a hot 4th of July here, but that's okay. I think that that is all I have to share. I feel like there were lots of different things I wanted to share today, but I feel like I've gotten through them. So I hope so. I really appreciate you joining me to hear about my yarny adventures. If you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to join in both of our make-alongs, that would just be great. Let me know in the comments down below anything. If you're going to be working on Christmas things, what you are working on. If you have ideas for my sweater, which skein of yarn you might prefer, any comment would be great. I just love being able to interact with you that way. Or if you want to talk, on Instagram, you can always send me a message on there or message me on Ravelry, even just to say hi. That would be great. There is one more thing I wanted to talk about. Last time I did mention that I would like to be doing some Zoom knitting. And so there are a number of you who are interested. So I will be doing that. And I will message each of you when I come up with a date for that. Things are just a little hectic right now with the holiday and yeah, just with some company and everything. So I have not forgotten that. I promise. I'm very much looking forward to knitting with and talking with some of you. So just stay tuned. Just stay tuned for that. So I think that is it for today. I hope the next 2 weeks go well for all of you. I hope you are able to find some joy in your crafting. I hope you stay cool if you are in a hot weather area. And with that, I will say goodbye. Take care. See you next time.